Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another Sunday video. I feel like the Sunday videos come over so fast. It's like, whoa, it's already Sunday again. Anyone else feel like that? But welcome. I'm so glad that you're here, and I'm so glad that we have this time together. It really means a lot to me, and I hope that it encourages you and it blesses you. So today, a little bit of a story time. I always do story time. Like, that's how I come up with things I'm going to talk about, is things that just happen in my week. So yesterday, me and Lucy she had a checkup at the doctor, and anytime we do stuff like that, like, it's just a good time for me to just kind of talk to her and see how things are going, stepping away from the busyness of, being at home with the boys and life and, taking her here or there and homework and all the stuff. Just kind of getting out of the house for a little bit and just having some one-on-one time is super important to me. And that's where we really have heart to hearts. And I forget how it came up, but she was talking about how some people at school make her cry. And I was, the mama in me is like, what? Like, did somebody say something to you like that was rude, or did they make fun of you? Or, I'm just trying to like understand, like, well, I didn't say that. I just was like, well, what did they do? And she said, there's a few kids, I guess, this main one boy that makes fun of autistic kids. And she said, it makes me so sad. And it made me sad too to hear that. And, I was like, oh, I'm so sorry, and I was telling her, I was like, if people are going to do that, then they're not happy with themselves on the inside, and they're the ones that are wrong. And I asked her, I was like, well, what did you do? Tell me about it. And she said, which I'm so proud of her. Like, I would have no guts to do any of this stuff as a 10-year-old. But she said, I went over to him and I said, what you're saying is not nice. I have a brother that has autism, and that's not okay. And he said to her, well, your brother's awesome, and she said, he's still doing it. And so we had a conversation about how we can't change people. And I told her, I'm like, you standing up to him and saying something maybe will make him think about it before he does it next time. But ultimately, like, we can't control what other people do. And it breaks my heart that people are being made fun of, and, definitely tell a teacher if something like that's happening. But other than that, like, there's not much you can do to change someone's heart. Only God can do that. But I did tell him, like, you did give him something to think about. And, I was just thinking about that the last, little while since that happened, and how hard it is sometimes to just let God be our defender. And when something like that happens, we want to get upset, and we want to tell them how wrong they are. And, if they don't listen, then maybe we cry or feel sad or get mad, get angry. I know that's my first reaction when I hear something like that, is like to get angry and want to like educate them or whatever. But even in like my life, when someone is mean to me or neglects, or I feel like they, don't take my opinion, or don't even think it matters, or I get overlooked for something that I feel like it doesn't seem fair for whatever reason, my first reaction is to be mad, and to feel like I should do something, and ultimately those kind of situations, we have to let God defend us, and He will. The Bible is very clear that God is our defender. And when we try to defend ourselves, have you ever been on Facebook and there's some kind of argument going on, and you try to like defend yourself or your position or whatever's going on, you try to defend it? Does it ever go well? Because I've never seen a Facebook post where there's arguing and someone tries to like, come in and even make peace. It's never received well, right? Like, when we start to defend ourselves, usually the other person then gets defensive, and then it just blows up in our face. And I have found that when we are mistreated, when we are made fun of, whatever it is, the best thing to do is just to pray about it and give it to God. I love the Mel Robbins theory or quote or whatever, that, and I know she's not saying this out of a Christian perspective, but I think it goes hand in hand, is let them. If someone is going to be ugly, if someone's going to leave you out, let them. If you have friends that are getting together and you weren't invited, let them. You getting upset and you getting mad about it and you using that whole night to feel less than or whatever it causes you to do, that's only going to hurt you. And so you let them, and then now let me choose how I'm going to react to this. Let me decide how I'm going to feel about this, because no one else has the power to make you feel or act a certain way. Only you do. And yes, people are going to make fun of you at times. People are going to hurt your feelings, because people are people, and we all live in the broken world on this earth that sin has infiltrated. And so there's no perfect person. I unintentionally hurt people's feelings sometimes, and maybe I don't even know. And so it's so important that we remember this. And it's hard because we want to defend ourselves. Have you ever been in an argument and you just keep thinking of the next thing to say? And, maybe the person you're in an argument with is totally wrong, but the whole time you're trying to defend yourself, and you're getting nowhere. Well, anyway, I'm going to read this Bible verse, and it's one of my very favorite Bible verses that I quote all the time. And it's when the children of Israel were leaving Egypt, and the Egyptians were chasing after them, and they were right up to the Red Sea. Okay, this is what happens right up to where God parted the Red Sea for them. It's in Exodus 14, starting in verse 13. But Moses told the people, "Don't be afraid. Just stand still and watch the Lord rescue you today. The Egyptians you see today will never be seen again. The Lord himself will fight for you. Just stay calm. The Lord himself will fight for you." He is our defense. He is our defense. We can't defend ourselves to bullies. We can't defend ourselves to people who are arguing or talking about us or anything like that. He is our defense. And, just speaking from experience here, on YouTube, you're going to get comments no matter how amazing you are. I see people that I think there's no way anyone can say anything negative about them. They're amazing. Their content's amazing. There is this mom that I follow that she's the most positive, sweetest lady, and her daughter passed away from a problem that she was born with. And her content's amazing. You could not say one thing negative about this lady. She is amazing. She's an amazing mother. The care that she provided her daughter before she passed away was incredible. I just look at her and think she's the ideal version of just a mother that loves her children and is just sharing her story, and she's so inspirational. Y'all, if you look at the comments on her videos, people are so mean, and they're saying "I can't believe your daughter was ever born," or just ripping her apart, making fun of her daughter, the way she looks. It's just heartbreaking, because people are cruel and mean, and anyone that's going to do that is not happy with themselves on the inside. But over the years, we've heard all kinds of stuff. People talk about us, and I choose to not read those things. I choose not to look at those things, because at the end of the day, God is my defense. He's the one that knows my heart. And people on the internet, they don't know me, that even friends of mine or family of mine, they don't know the true me. They don't know my true intentions, but God does. And he is the one that fights for us. He is the one that goes before us. He is our defense, our front and our back and our side, but we have to submit it to him. If we get in there and we start defending ourselves, it doesn't give God any room to fight for us. I mean, what would the children of Israel have done if they turned around and they started going hand to hand with the Egyptians? They probably wouldn't have gotten very far, except God's hand was on them. If they tried to take it in on themselves, the Egyptians had chariots and horses and all these tools and probably weapons, and they didn't have any of that stuff. So there was nothing they could do. But when they chose to give it to God, stand still, it says, do not be afraid, stay calm. Stay calm. Once you give your situation to God, once you give whatever is going on, your emotions, everything else to God, he is able to do something with it. But we can't. A lot of times we try to take it into our own hands and we make a big mess of it. I know I've done that in the past. But his way is truly, the best way. I love that song, Defender. Your way is best, and this is the best way. It's hard sometimes because we want to defend ourselves, and sometimes it feels like God's taking a really long time. It's like, God, where's that defense? I'm getting eaten alive here. The bullies are after me, and I wish our kids could grow up in a world where there was no bullies, where there was no hate, but that is not the world that we live in, and we can choose to bubble wrap them and lock them in the house and never let them out. But I want to prepare them for the world, because one day they're going to leave our homes. And if we've kept them in a bubble for so long and not let them experience these hard things, then they're going to go out there and they're going to be floored. Like, they're not even going to know what to do. And so it was a really good teaching moment to go, you know what? You stood up for what was right, but now we just have to let God deal with it, and He will. And I said, pray for them. I will say that's another thing. Pray for the bullies. Pray for the people who mistreat you. Pray for the people who overlook you, because most of the time they're not happy themselves. They're miserable themselves. If you're going to be hateful to someone, you're not doing very good mentally and emotionally, because those of us who wouldn't do that to other people, and we would have empathy for others. And I think empathy in our day and age is few and far between, but I just love that verse. I used to have that verse written out on my mirror. I used to put verses all over the house. I've told you guys this. When I was really struggling with fear, I had verses all over. This one particular was on my mirror, and that whole thing of the Lord will fight for you. Just stay calm. And then that first part of the verse, don't be afraid. Just stand still and watch the Lord rescue you today. I also love the song Rescue by Lauren Daigle. During COVID, we lost our job, and because the church was unable to, there was like no money coming in, and they couldn't afford to pay us. And we had just had a brand new baby. And I listened to that song on repeat over and over again, because I just remember saying, like, God, I don't know what we're going to do. We truly need a miracle here, but I trust you, and I know that it's in your hands. And so no matter what we face, you guys, when we put it in God's hands, it's the best place it can be. He is able to do above and beyond anything we can even think. It may not happen exactly the way you think it should, but He promises to rescue us and to work it out for good. But we have to submit it to Him. We can't give it to Him and then keep worrying about it, keep stressing about it, keep fighting and all of the things. We have to give it to Him and take our hands off of it, because once our hands are off of it and we've submitted it to Him, then He's able to work. And again, it may not be in our timetable. Sometimes, a lot of times, God's time is not our time. He may do it sooner. It may take a lot longer, but He will fight for you, no matter what you've got going on. If you're stressed about a relationship, if you're stressed about, money, if you're stressed about your marriage or whatever else, submit all of those things to God. He can handle it. We sometimes don't know what to do. We don't know what to do when people are ugly to us. We don't know what to do when we're facing a trial. But God, He knows what to do. And He knows that the best thing for us is to not worry, to not stress, to be calm, and just submit it all to Him, because it's all in His hands. All right, we're going to end today with a prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you so much for today. God, I just pray for every single person who's listening to my voice right now, God, that we would just be able to not be afraid. We would not be people that are worried or stressed, God, with whatever situation we're going on. We wouldn't be angry when we have people that maybe disagree with us or bully us or be mean to us, God, but we would be able to stay calm and let you fight for us. Let you rescue us in every situation. I just pray for all of my friends that they're able to give you all of their burdens that they're carrying, all of the stress that they're carrying, and they can walk today in peace knowing that you've got it all under control. Just like the children of Israel, they got up to the Red Sea and they didn't know what they were going to do, but you had a plan. You had a plan they could have never seen. God, we trust you and we love you, and we ask all these things in Jesus' name. Amen. All right, you guys, I hope you have a wonderful day. I hope you have a wonderful week. If you would share this video with a friend, it definitely helps out and gets the algorithm to share my video more with others. Definitely leave me a comment and like the video as well, and I'll see y'all later. Bye, everybody.